Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
In fact, two breaking news stories tonight across Metro Detroit. In Macomb County, an off-duty police officer discovers several hidden cameras inside a tanning salon. And on Detroit's west side, a quarter-mile stretch of retaining wall collapses on the Lodge Freeway. Glad you're with us tonight at 11. That collapse sent a construction worker to the hospital and forced crews to shut down the southbound lanes.
That worker is expected to be okay. The collapse happened near 7 Mile about 8:30 tonight. Mara McDonald is there live. And Mara, this could have been much worse.
It could have, Kimberly. Take a look behind me. You can see the line of demarcation where that retaining wall was and where they're removing it now to try and avoid further collapse. Somehow, nobody else on this freeway was hurt when this came crashing down.
I thought it was an earthquake or something.
The boom was loud and the ground shook.
We heard like a boom. And at first we thought it was someone in the building or accident.
What no one realized until they ran outside was a portion of the retaining wall had collapsed onto the freeway.
We ran and we noticed workers on the outside just running around. So we went outside and we saw that the worker had fallen on the freeway.
Angel Fuller called 911. She says help got here almost immediately. MSP confirms one construction worker was hurt by the falling wall debris. They say his injuries are relatively minor. MDOT has been out here working on the retaining wall, but the southbound lanes were open when this happened.
I was like, damn, like, pardon my French, but I'm like, man, the whole wall fell?
Back here live, MDOT had been scheduled to be out here this weekend anyway, working on that retaining wall. They had scheduled to close down the service drive. Clearly, it has become a whole lot more than that. Southbound lanes of the Lodge, south of 7 Mile, are closed right now while they try and shore this up so there are no more collapses. We are live on Detroit's west side. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
All right, Mara. Now let's move to Shelby Township, where an off-duty police officer discovers several hidden cameras inside Chili Pepper's tanning salon. That's at Van Dyke and 25 Mile Road. Coco McAvoy live there with this disturbing discovery that shocked at least some of the workers there, Coco.
That's right. There's still an active scene here, and we did speak with the vice president of the company. She is devastated by the news and wants to get to the bottom of this. Chili Pepper's Tanning in Shelby Township surrounded by police after a disturbing discovery. The vice president of the company says an off-duty officer found a hidden camera inside.
Because this isn't something that we would ever tolerate or how we do business.
Officers blocked off the tanning salon with caution tape, and while searching, officers found 2 more cameras. The news caught Sharice Davis off guard completely.
Well, first I didn't believe it. To be honest, I thought that they must be fake, and I'm still not sure that they're not.
Davis doesn't believe her employees are to blame.
And I'm confident that it was an outside job. I can't tell you exactly where it came from, but I can promise you that we're going to do everything we can to find out.
Chili Peppers has several locations across the Metro Detroit area. All of them will be swept first thing tomorrow morning before opening by maintenance workers.
We just want to assure the public that we are fully cooperating with the Shelby Township Police Department.
And Davis is also invested in finding out who planted the cameras in her salon. And she has a message for anyone who may be impacted.
I would just like to apologize for anybody that might think that we had anything to do with this, because we didn't. We never would. We run a clean business. We respect our customers, and this isn't something that we would ever do. I'm devastated.
And Davis says she is hiring a private investigator to figure out exactly what happened. Reporting live this evening, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
Yeah, Coco, I kind of joked there that at least some of the employees were surprised. She's adamant that this was not an inside job.
Absolutely. She's saying, as she said, that she's confident that it's an outside job. She just doesn't know exactly where it came from. We'll
stay on it. All right, Coco. Now, developing tonight downriver, a kitchen fire interrupts Valentine's Day dinner at the Texas Roadhouse near Pardee and Eureka Roads in Taylor. You see the flames here shooting out of the roof from this viewer video. The restaurant is going to be closed until further notice due to the smoke and water damage. May have ruined Valentine's Day dinner for some diners, but fortunately no one was hurt.
All right, well, the sun was nice to see today. Didn't really warm things up, and we've got another cold night across Metro Detroit with the lows in the single digits in some places.
We're going in the right direction, but I think the difference is going to be academic here. It is still going to be plenty cold. Yeah, look at these numbers. These are current temperatures. We're at 15. There's not going to be a ton of wind out there, but the wind chills are going to be the story in the 4-zone forecast. This is how it's going to feel tomorrow morning. Single digits when we wake up in the Metro Zone. 3 for a wind chill in the city, maybe 2 officially at the airport. We'll be flirting pretty close to 0 down here in the South Zone for 7 a.m. wind chills. Then we start looking at negative numbers here when we get on the other side of 275. Howell at -2, Fenton at -3. And again, these are numbers how it's going to feel in the morning, and those north zone wind chills anywhere between 0 and 3 below as we get started on Saturday morning. Now, there will be a decent amount of sunshine out there. In fact, both weekend days will actually feature it. However, there will be some snow showers around Saturday. We'll talk timing on this, how much we're going to end up with, and some rain on the way early next week. All that in a few minutes, guys.
All right, Ben. 2 women remain in the hospital after an SUV and a train collide, sending the SUV into an icy pond in Rose Township. Happened this afternoon in the area of Radley Lake Road, west of I-75. We await word on the extent of the injuries, but police are still investigating the crash. The former MSU gymnastics coach, Kathy Klages, was convicted by a jury this afternoon.
And Mr. Foreperson, on count 1, lying to a peace officer investigating criminal sexual conduct, what is the finding of the jury?
Guilty.
Klages was found guilty on both lying to a peace officer and misconduct in office during the Larry Nassar investigation. Her sentencing is set for April 15th. Today we got our first look at the man charged in the murder of a well-known hairstylist, Bashar Kalabat. 24-year-old Jimmy Pickett was arraigned on first-degree murder charges. Prosecutors say Pickett entered Kalabat's room at the JZ Motel on Detroit's east side Tuesday night, robbing him and then killing him. Pickett is being held at the Wayne County Jail without bond. If convicted, he faces life in prison.
Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib was briefly detained by police during a protest at Metro Airport. Tlaib joined other activists and blocked traffic outside the McNamara terminal for Delta during a demonstration against low wages. This is video from the group Unite Here. Tlaib later released a statement calling on Delta to raise wages for its catering workers. Delta not commenting, but the company that employs the union workers says it remains committed to negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement in good faith.
Amid coronavirus fears, a second wave of the flu hits kids here in the U.S.
Yep, new tonight, the latest number of cases and why this could be the worst flu season in a decade.
And courtroom chaos. Who an accused rapist targeted while appearing before a judge.
And he's a musician here in Metro Detroit who happens to be deaf. His uniquely Detroit story is next.
But first, we continue to follow that breaking news from Detroit's west side. That's where a quarter-mile stretch of retaining wall has collapsed on the southbound lanes of the lodge near 7 Mile. A construction worker was injured, but is expected to be okay. The southbound lanes of the lodge will remain closed through the weekend for previously scheduled construction work. We'll be right back with more news.
Who has the time to go back to school? Learn a trade or pursue your passion on your own time. Tomorrow morning, the essential apps to help you get one step closer to your dream job.
At Inside Edition, we go where the news is happening.
That gut took me off my feet there.
Police say they found the children shackled to these beds.
It's easy to see how enticing this cornfield would be to a child.
Boom, boom, boom. All 3 houses are on fire.
We are the only daily TV magazine with a dedicated team of investigative reporters.
You can see right into the room next door.
There's always more to the story. Inside Edition.
Inside Edition, following Local 4 News first at 4, Monday.